Hello YouTube. The topic for today is Relm and Strago. I think I'm saying his name right. Well, I better be. Ignore the gameplay in the background, it's just some filler stuff. I don't even know what I'm gonna put up here, but it's not important. I want to talk about Relm and Strago's upcoming banner and the idea that Relm is better than Strago, or the real prize of the banner, or the winner. All the I think Relm has a little bit of uncontrolled hype that is getting a little bit blown out of proportion. Now, before I go into the rest of what I'd like to talk about, I want to say that I too was guilty of this take initially, and upon further thinking through it, looking through results, I refined my view. So I don't blame anyone who might hold this view, because that's how hype works, you know. But really thinking through it, I just wanted to get this out, hopefully before all the should you polls and all the other takes come out, and maybe try and curb what Relm is actually going to represent. Full disclosure, I am personally not investing in Strago. I plan to invest in Relm totally. This video is not an anti-Relm video. It is more of a pro-Strago video and giving context to what Relm can do. Let me list off some other views that I do not hold. I made sure to write these down because I know some people are going to misinterpret what I'm saying and craft a point that I am not making. If you do this, I am going to just point out that you have hallucinated me saying something that I did not say. These takes include that I don't believe and are not completely exhaustive. This is not an exhaustive list. I am not saying Relm is bad. I am not saying Strago is better than Relm. I am not saying Relm is better than Strago. I'm not saying they're just as good as each other. I'm not saying skipping over Relm or Strago is dumb. I'm not saying skipping Relm's banner and skipping the banner and tokening Relm is dumb. I'm not saying pitying either of those two is dumb. And I'm not saying that they are or are not viable for various Lufenia. I want to give context, and I want to point out the considerations in what I consider a bit of potential hypocrisy. And before, I think the last take I want to address is, if you think Strago is so good, why don't you want to pull on him? Because I don't want to use him. I'm kind of disappointed that I would have to point that out. I don't have Omnia Italian. I don't chase a lot of bursts because I don't want to use them. I don't pull on characters I don't particularly find fond. I do not pull on characters I'm not fond of. That's it. And Strago is no exception. But that doesn't mean I can't recognize his power. All right, just get that low IQ response out of here. But going back to my point about Relm. So first, giving context to Relm being good in Lufenia. I think, and some people have done a good job with this. I was watching a Broadway Saiyan stream earlier, and he said Relm was good for Lufenia, and then you know what he said? He said which Lufenia she's good for. That's very important. So if you're gonna say Relm is this good at Lufenia person, you need to give context for it. And I'm gonna list off those, and it's really just like that first month of Lufenia. Relm is a strong contender and a strong unit. She definitely puts in work. I'm not denying that at all. So let's walk through those real quick. Shinryu Lufenia. Relm can do pretty well with her turn manipulation, and the counter is not strict, so her free turns can really just add and help you out in the Odin instant break and all that. Relm's solid there. 8, she doesn't really do anything for the counter, but again, it's not strict, so you can tank the orb at that point, so it's not really that big of a deal. Kurasame, which is a counter that requires you to deal ice damage to freeze the counter. Relm works wonderfully there. She can sketch summon and she can turn manipulate, and you can do whatever. She's a strong stand-in, so you don't need to bring another ice unit. She can cover that role. Next we have the Bahamut Lufenia, and this is where it starts getting a little yikes, because Relm alone, since the orb is a bit more aggressive and the holy damage that it's required to bring, the only Relm runs that I could find on YouTube, and YouTube is not an exhaustive source, I can say this a million times but people will still think it is. YouTube, just because it didn't happen on YouTube doesn't mean it's not possible. But the runs that I saw with Relm required either Vaughn's Burst or to bring Kuja. And if you brought Kuja, who is a party holy enchanter, Relm wasn't quite necessary in the first place, and she wasn't really a key character. She was just there along for the ride. Not saying she didn't work, not saying she wasn't valuable, I'm not saying she was carried. Don't misinterpret my words, but she was definitely not the Lufenia star that you might have misconceived her as. On to Gao's Lufenia. She was a semi-decent unit there. The orb required either a counter or Earth, and Relm could sketch summon Earth, and you could DPS the beast down before the counter went off. So she's solid there, helpful. And Gladio's Lufenia, she worked, but she didn't really do anything. She didn't counter the orb at all. It was a guaranteed hit orb, and you had to tank it no matter what. So out of those 6 first Lufenia fights, I'd say Relm was probably a key contributing unit in Shinryu, Kurasame, and kind of Gao, but I'll give her Gao. So that's 3. That's 3 fights where Relm can really do wonders for you. And that's not even talking about the other units that you might use in those fights. But that's 3 fights. Month 2 Lufenia, once the Tyrant raid kicks in and orbs start getting punishing, I don't know if it was Tyrant raid specifically, but that orb pretty much required constant thunder damage, and Relm cannot do constant thunder damage. She's just not strong enough. It's only what is it? How many uses is sketch summon? Is it 8? And it required lightning pretty much throughout the battle. So what you saw crop up there were just lightning enchanters like Garnet, Desh, Raijin, and the like. Relm wasn't really a key player there at all. I mean, again, I'll say it again, you can use Relm. This is not me saying that Relm is unusable. I am saying she is not going to be the key player. All right. Camlinot required a stun. Relm isn't doing anything there. Reno required multiple debuffs up, but the problem was in that fight wasn't the debuffs. It was tanking the recast and the like. So Relm's not really doing anything there. Sephiroth, everyone sucks at Sephiroth, Lufenia, including him. Karen, Relm was decent there. She countered the mechanics. Actually, I don't remember that orb, now that I think about it. What was the orb there? Yikes. Let me check lufenia.decidia.dev. It is what Relm has put together, so nice, of Lufenia conditions in a nice scrollable format. Oh, right, it was a DPS orb. So while that Relm is really a double-edged sword on those DPS orbs, because she is constantly ticking down the counter. Now, she was used there with Kais, I think it was, in Gladio, I want to say. Don't quote me on this. But putting in the instant break with Odin to cut down their massive Brave gains was a strategy used with Relm, but she definitely was not, again, a key player there. Just someone you could use. Sephiroth, magic resist, and they cleanse a lot. Yeah, Relm, yikes. Did I say Sephiroth? I meant Rude. And that's month 2 so far. And then month 3, you're bringing, we're into the crystal level 80 era, and Relm doesn't have a call, and LDs have been out for what at that point, like 5-6 months now, and Relm is a bit of a struggle. The damage requirements have ramped up a little, and the moments where she should shine, like Element Lufenias, have an even stricter damage requirement. So, for instance, I personally use Relm on Zan's Lufenia, which required Dark. I didn't want to pull for Zan, and that was very, very difficult to do. I didn't have Lightning's Burst. I copied this from a YouTube run. There's a reason I didn't record it, because it was that painful. That should say something. It was Beatrix, Garnet, and Relm, and the orb was hit Dark, and it was at such frequent intervals that it was very hard to time. It was basically down to the wire, and it also required me bringing a Zan friend and to finish off the dark damage that Relm couldn't consistently deal, because she's only stuck to sketch summon, and then I was stuck to doing damage with Diablos summon up. It was very tricky, and I would have had an easier time if I'd brought... Did Leon work there? I don't remember. Or maybe if I had Lightning and I could just bum rush through it. But Relm, it's hard to call her a key player there, but I couldn't have done the orb without her. But she didn't exactly carry me, or it's tricky. You see what I'm going for here? And the last element orb I can think of is Guy, and that I think Relm was used there sparingly, but it was the same problem again, where the damage required is so severe that you really need to carry Relm's damage and her eating up the orb counter, because she doesn't eat turns, but she eats up the orb, and so you really need to account for that damage, and that usually accounting for damage usually means like lightning and glide you or something, which and if you consider, like, if you're going full meta and you just get lightning's burst and you try and lightning gladio everything and Omnia and Relm it, maybe, but is Relm really the character that is being essential there at this point? You see how far I'm having to stretch to make Relm work, not to an appropriate degree in the counter. And I'll say it again, I've said it like 20 times already, but this is not me saying that Relm cannot work in these fights. It is me saying Relm has difficulties. Now, going back to Strago. Strago is straight up DPS, but he is very, very good at that. He has a billion hits on everything, and he does it twice on everything. Because he has these billion hits, and because he is non-elemental and he has like 3 frame buffs on himself, I think. Don't quote me. I'm not too familiar with this kit because I'm not really a big fan of Final Fantasy VI. Sorry, Inkwelder. I have no interest in him. But Segan, the guy who does the Galuf, the old man grandpa saga, where he either runs Galuf or Strago, he's been running him in so many things, and Strago is so flexible that Strago has been putting in crazy amount of work. And he usually does not sub out Strago, although he kind of subs out Galuf, but whatever. And the results are there. I'm gonna post a link to his channel and his runs. If you're not subscribed to him, I mean, great channel, just because he does a lot of meme runs with Galuf and Strago. But the results are right there. So it makes me wonder why characters like Omnia, Kais, Arciela got pushed very hard, and rightfully so, because of how long they lasted as units. And here we have Strago, who has proven his worth as a damage dealer due to his flexibility and strong instant breaks, magic damage, and really just overall solid, consistent output with an amazing hit count. Why is he being downplayed when he's had probably more success than a lot of other hype characters are? He's got the results. He's got way more results than Relm. And a lot of people base their opinions on like Ultima and YouTube. But if you're basing your opinion on YouTube and results, then it would logically follow that you'd be pushing Strago over Relm. But I'm seeing the opposite happening, and it's fascinating. So really reconsider. If someone says Relm is really good for Lufenia and they don't qualify it, please ask them to do it. And if they don't qualify it, then I would certainly question their credibility as someone who's providing info, because you may feel a bit disappointed after the first month of Lufenia, and even then, like I said, Relm was really highlighted in 3 fights, maybe, and some of those fights, for Gao, you're probably going to bring Kuja and DPS it down anyways, which is a totally valid strategy. For Kurasame is getting hyped on his own. And for Shinryu, a lot of people are going to pull for Warrior Lights LD just because it's solid. And those are totally non-realmable. And if you're on a budget and you're really going for just an EX character, maybe you might want to consider saving. I don't know. Let me just reiterate my points. Again, this is not anti-Relm. This is pro-Strago. Putting some respect on that man's name, because really, context is needed. Strago is a great unit. I'm not pulling for him because I'm not interested, but that doesn't mean that's not hypocritical. What I do think is hypocritical is to have this perception of units based on YouTube results while simultaneously downplaying Strago. Also, after Arden was hyped into the sun, but I've seen way more Strago than I have seen of Arden. If someone has pushed Arden like crazy, or well, Noctis is in a different league of broken with his turn shenanigans, but if someone's pushed Arden like crazy and then says Relm is the real prize and good for Lufenia, but gives absolutely zero context to it, I would seriously question why I listen to them in the first place, and subscribe to me. Hopefully I can preempt these takes. I may address this again in a later video. Please share this around, especially if you hear Relm is the prize, Relm is good in Lufenia, without qualifications, because I think people might not. I think Relm is being overhyped. She is good. You can use her in plenty of content, but I don't think she's this magical early Lufenia ticket that people may perceive her as. Hopefully I've brought some good discussion to the table. I plan to do more videos like this, just talking about misconceptions. So if you haven't subbed already, subscribe to my channel and leave a like. Comment your thoughts on Relm and Strago, pull plans maybe specifically. This video should be up probably before, maybe even before Emperor's Lost Chapter. We'll see, because I'm recording this on... Nah, don't worry about it. I think that's all I wanted to do. Let me check my bullet points. Say it again, Relm was good, but past month 1, you're gonna need to make her work. And if you're fine investing in an EX unit for 1 month, that is fine. But consider if that was your standard before this. And I don't think that's a lot of people's standards. People tend to look for units that last a while, and just going by results, Strago's got it. If you're gonna say, oh, but Strago was used along these other characters, well, so is Relm. That's kind of how Lufenia in the future, you're gonna have to build around them. Smarter team building, it's more emphasized. There's usually barely examples of carries, rare examples. Like it's not a carry if someone else can't sub it and do the exact same thing. Like if you can throw a bronze Ramza in the field on like a Kurasame Lufenia with a Warrior Light Burst and Kurasame LD, then okay, yeah, that's a carry. But Strago puts in work on all these videos, and please check out Sigin's channel. He does great work. Strago does not get carried through events. He scales extremely well because of his hits and his non-element. Just put some respect on his name, and if you're gonna say Relm is good in Lufenia, qualify it, please. Otherwise, things get blown out of proportion. People waste their resources when they could have been going somewhere else. That's all I got. I'm gonna sign off now, go to sleep, get some real sleep today, and I will talk to you guys in the next one. Hope this was helpful. Peace.